trout set, but yeah.
Alright, we're going to be tying the Popcorn Beetle. Stillwater pattern used a lot on Pyramid Lake. Alright, so the hook I have in the vise is a Firehole 637 in size 6. It's a good thick hook for big fish. Alright, we're going to start with UTC 140 in white. Make sure when you start way behind the eye so you know where to stop. You'll see why I'm saying that. You don't want to crowd the eye. Because you got to wrap everything, then bring the foam over, and it can be a mess. Alright, so we're going to take this. This is a shorter shank with that curve on it. So I take it right to where that curve starts. And we're going to take some good old white Marabou. And we're going to put a scooter stick on it. I do this just longer than the shank. So it's probably about, I don't know, an inch and an eighth maybe. Tie that in real tight. And bring it up. Again, make sure you end well before your eye, or else you're going to be fighting a lot of materials here in a second. So I take this, really hold that hook and cinch that down because foam's going to go over this and I don't want it sliding everywhere. Alright. So I just use the Hairline 3mm fly foam in white. I cut a strip about the same size as the gap in that hook. And to tie it in, I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut a point. That way it's easy to tie in. I don't add a ton of bulk the entire way. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to end, if you can see that, I'm going to end where I have that point cut just about at my tie-in point. I do some kind of loose wraps first. Bring it back to where I want it. Make sure you get that last wrap straight so it comes, so when you fold it, it goes straight. Alright, so we're good right there. Now I'm going to come through and really tighten this down. Seeing this point, well, if you can grab it, there you go. This point just kind of tapers down a little nicely, a little nicer for you. I'm really going to get this tied in tight with this thread, and that's why I use that 140, because I can pull it down, not break it as easy. Alright, next we're going to be using Chartreuse Cactus Chenille. This is in medium. I'm going to take just those ends and get down to that bare thread rope in there. Bring it in, tie that in right where I want that to start. Make sure it's tight in there so when you start wrapping you don't pull it out. Alright, I'm going to go to right where my foam ends and put a couple half hitches in there. Rest my thread. Alright, so people say this is thicker on one side. I don't know that it really is. But what I do like to do is twist that up a little bit so all those fibers start sticking out. I do one wrap, kind of pull down tight, hold your foam to make sure it's not going to slide. Going to lock everything in place. Oopsie, I unwound it. There we go. And we're going to do touching wraps. You want this to be a pretty full body. Just go right up, and you can see I ended it pretty far back there on the point, on the behind the eye. All right, get that out of the way. I'm going to drop it behind. I'm going to give it a good pull on that chenille to tighten it down. There we go, and then I'm going to lash that in. I'm going to come back and clean all this up in a second. Go through, cut that out. Make sure we're good and tied in. And then I do come back through. You'll see with this foam, it'll push all that in front of the eye. I just don't like ending it that much earlier, because I like to have a full body on these. Alright, so now we're going to take our foam, get it straight over, and what I do is I pinch down on the sides, flatten my thread out by spinning it counterclockwise, do a loose wrap, and then I'll start tightening it down with each wrap. I don't pull tight all the way with that first few wraps. Just kind of slowly build it up, just so it adds a band. When it tighten it with that band, it'll tighten down, but it won't rip through your thread. Then I'm going to take my scissors. I cut this a little long because you can always trim them later depending on what you're feeling, what fish are eating. But I do, it's about, 2 hook eyes out. I'm going to fold that back. I'm going to bring my thread in front. Oh, got a stray ice fiber. There we go. Alright, I'm going to cut that out. Go right up front. I'm going to take some Zap-A-Gap. And first what I'm going to do is put some on my thread. So as I do my whip finish, that's good and secured. Just take it in there, do a good whip. Make sure that's pulled tight. Come down, trim that out, and then make sure that's straight. I'm going to come back through and put some Zap-A-Gap right in where that thread is to really lock that all down. And it kind of stiffens this front piece up a good bit. And there you have it. That is the good old Popcorn Beetle. It is a weird pattern, but works in still water. They say it works real well up on Pyramid, so we're going to give it a shot.